Craftsmanship and artistry harmonize in Chris Klocek's Intarsias. While working with wood may seem limiting, he manages to capture the essence of his subjects, distilling recognizable icons down to their eyes, aloof sneer, or childlike whimsy.
What Intarsia is taking separate pieces of wood, you cut them to fit mosaic-like into a picture. By using their colors, their grain patterns, and darkness and light, just like in photography. My first one, I made it for my grandmother who loved owls, and I made her a little owl in a tree. It was a pattern in the magazine, and I cut it out with a handheld jigsaw. Not this, but an actual, like a skill saw, each piece individually with pine and cedar and, nominal domestic lumber. I signed it and dated it, and it was August of '88 that I made that first one. So it's 30 years this year. What's great about the fact that I've grown in it is that the creativity aspect of it has grown more and more. Always problem solving to be done with each layout. How will this piece work here? Can I make that into one piece? Do I need to break it up into two? Where's the best place to break that into two? That's all part of the tricky part of laying something out. My Sgt. Pepper's had 333 pieces. I don't have the luxury of using shading. I can only use like a line drawing, specific delineations of color and art. So I have to take a drawing and turn it into a line drawing. I'll use an opaque projector to give it the right size and just for proportion, just for a sense of the eyes should go here, the mouth should go here. Basically a coloring book with wood, so you have lines and each one's a color. The more constraints or limitations you have, the more you have to exercise creativity. Using Intarsia is very limiting. You have to be minimalistic and pick out just the defining characteristics. And then people, they recognize immediately. I don't use any stains, dyes, or tints. I only use the natural colors and the grains that are in the woods. So they react differently to varnish. Once you put a final coat on them, they may darken up or they may do this or that. It's a series of problem solving. What's the most elegant way to get from point A to point B? Setting up and preparation is about 60–70% of every project. You're thinking of the other parts in the process the whole time you're doing it. You're thinking of past mistakes. You try not to redo those. But at any point, you can have to start over again. I see the ending from the beginning, so when I show my family, I'll go in, and show them a drawing that I just did for say, oh, check this, it's like, yeah, that's really nice. But me, I'm seeing it in wood already. I'm already seeing 5 steps down the line. So I get really excited when I get a good pattern, It's like, oh, this is gonna be great, And that's the thing, you have to have a lot of patience because you say, I can't wait to see how this is gonna turn out. But you don't until the final coat of varnish is on and it's assembled, you don't know, So it's like waiting for Christmas, every time you're doing it, and that anticipation, and that keeps you going too. Because when you're cutting 200, 300 pieces at a time, that's tedious. So, and not to see progress, not to see the result, it's an exercise in patience, but it's always fun. If I were doing Intarsia, I already got it figured out, A lot of times, I'll see a picture, I'll see a person or a picture, and yeah, I'm breaking it down. They're like children to me, They're like when I make one, I put a lot of myself in it. The great thing is, I never am let down by seeing one 10 years later. I'm like, wow, that really turned out nice. I'm always like really excited to see him again, Where have you been? I'm never disappointed, which is great. Because I won't give it to somebody unless I know they're gonna love it. And that's a good thing. You feel like you're giving a gift to someone, even though they're paying for it, you feel like you're giving them something valuable, They're individual, they're unique. I want these things to last like 100 years, They're like heirloom pieces. If you do it for the pay, it doesn't pay. It's that rewarding feeling you have when you light somebody else's eyes up. It has to be a relaxing activity or you'd never do it because it's so time intensive and labor intensive. Not working by the sweat of your brow, but you're just putting in a lot of hours. So I don't stress out when I'm working with my hands. It's relaxing. It's palliative. It takes away pain. You have to love it. You have to love it because it's for madmen and passionate people, I guess. I'm always learning. You know, every step, everything you do, even if it doesn't sell, you've learned something. You have to love what you're doing, I guess, whether it pays or not. And if you do it for the pay, it doesn't pay, you know. But if you do it for the passion and the love, a lot of times it does, surprisingly.